Hey everybody, I just wanted to do really a quick follow-up on this steering wheel position sensor. If you've got a 2007 to 2011 GMC, Chevy, Cadillac truck, and your steering wheel position sensor goes out, you can only buy these things from the junkyard. Well, here's the problem, and I don't think I did a good enough job explaining it in the first video, so I'm going to try one more time. But what you're looking for is this yellow. So in this inspection window here, you're looking for that yellow painted circle. I've removed, it comes with a, when you buy this thing in the package, inside this, there's a little rubber grommet I've pulled out just so you can kind of see in there, hopefully. But there is, you would get a metal spring, a retention pin, and after you installed everything at 0 degrees, you would pull this pin out, and then you're off to the races and ready to drive. Problem is, you buy this thing from a junkyard. Mine ended up rolling around, and just see how the that yellow, that little yellow, it'll disappear next time we get a full open window here. So let me see. And you think about it, your steering wheel, you know, you end up turning your steering wheel 3 or 4 full turns before you hit the max. Before you hit the max that it's allowed to go left or right. This thing will read negative. See, now I've got my window here. It's hard to see because of the sun, but you know, no yellow paint, right? Even though I have the witness mark, right? So here's my witness mark. That's lined up, so I'm good there, but I don't have the yellow in the paint. And so what you have to do is continue to kind of turn this thing. It's usually about 7 turns left or 7 turns right, I think is what I counted. Somebody out there is probably, there's a book on this, or there we go, we're back in. So it's about 7 complete turns to get this back into the yellow, right? So left or right. So if you don't do that, if you install this thing, you're going to get a failure of your steering wheel sensor that you've bought. It could be a good one. The problem is, buying one of these things off a junkyard, it may or may not be. I mean, you don't really know until you plug it in. That's the only problem, and it's a nightmare. But there we go. So, you know, we've got this thing. Here's our witness mark, no yellow paint. That's going to give you a bad reading. Okay, so I turn this thing too far to the left or too far to the right, I'm going to get out of tolerance. I bought a nice little meter off of Amazon that was able to give me the steering wheel position sensor, the set, you know, the angle, and you could see it turn left or right. But when we put this thing in, if you have that meter, right, we want it to say 0. If you don't have this yellow paint, if you don't have, or whatever color paint it is on yours, you're going to get a bad reading. So there we go. So that's a good. That would be a good. That should say 0 if you've got this thing plugged in, hooked up to your car. So just continue to turn this wheel left or right until this thing reads at a 0%, okay, or you're going to get a bad reading. I'm just gonna, there you go. See, I've got so that's in the yellow paint, all right, but where's my witness mark? My witness mark is down here. It's not lined up on this arrow, so this is going to give me a bad reading. Okay, so I need to continue to go until I get that back to where it needs to be. So both of these things, so here we got the witness mark lined up, no yellow paint. Okay, I don't know how far I've gone one way or the other, but I'm sure this probably isn't the best way to do it. I'm not a mechanic, but this is the way I figured it out, and I really didn't have any resources. So you just keep turning that, and the key is both of those kind of alignment marks or whatever have to be. Oh, here we go. What did I do? Okay, yeah, so I've got it in the paint there, but I don't have the witness mark up here. So keep going until I get everything lined up to where it needs to be, nice and neat. Again, when I bought my steering wheel at the junkyard, they yanked it off the car and gave it to me, and the steering wheel's spinning all over the place, left or right. And I didn't really pay attention to it until I went through all the steps of taking that wheel off and putting it all back on. And then I turned the wheel about a half a turn to the left, and it would end up give me a read error. But it would work if I went to the right a bunch of turns, you know, 3 or 4 full turns, 3 full turns, but then it would eventually read out of tolerance. So that's what you're looking for. You need the yellow paint right there and the witness mark right there. Anyway, good luck to you. This thing really aggravated the crap out of me, and I hope you all have much better luck than me when you're putting this thing in. I did it probably 2 or 3 times because of this. So that's what you're looking for: witness marking top and the yellow paint down there through that window. Good luck.